Stephanie Christensen, I am so excited to talk to you, and I'm going to kick off with a question that the world wants to know.
Okay.
Is it Roll Tide or is it War Eagle? What do we got in the Christensen household?
We actually are not big into football.
Really? Okay. I like that. So you can stay totally neutral. So you are the Switzerland of Alabama. Is that correct?
Yes.
I love Stephanie, thank you for joining us. I'm really excited to talk. Stephanie, will you start us off with, let's hear about the Christensen household. Let's hear about your home, where you live, who you live with, and a little bit about your family.
Okay. So we live in Gadsden, Alabama, and we've been married for 10 years. My husband works as a maintenance technician at Cook's Foods, and I'm 34, and I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I homeschool my 5 and 8-year-old, and we also have almost two-year-old twins. And as if that's not enough to keep me busy, I'm active in my church. I sing on the worship team, and I have 2 side hustles. I do Rover, which is keeping dogs while people go on vacation, and then I love to play on my cricket. And then my biggest thing is I've been a Spanish tutor for 15 years now, and I've been trying to grow my business online.
Amazing. Okay, so I got to ask, do you talk to the dogs in Spanish? Do you ever drop some of that? Do they ever respond in Spanish?
I have one because the owner is Hispanic.
I love it. So my daughter loves watching dogs. And so we had a dog at Christmas stay with us and was not responding to anything at all. And then it dawned on me, hey, idiot, this dog lives in a Spanish-speaking household. So I started speaking Spanish to it. And he would listen to everything we said now. It was really, really easy. That's really, really funny. Well, so you do a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. So that is very, very impressive. I would love to hear. So inevitably, you're a homeschool mom. By the way, I'm fully convinced homeschool moms rule the world. I know this already. They are machines. So you are one of them. And that is incredible. So I want to hear, I know technology plays a big role in that. So your kids, I assume your 8-year-old does not yet have a phone. Is that correct? Mm-mm. And so you're kind of like square in the target of people we like to talk to, because it's people like you who realize, wait a second, my phone's getting in the way and it's not my kid's fault. It's my fault. Yeah. So we're the ones to blame. Will you tell us a little bit about kind of what your journey with technology has been like in doing everything that you do?
Yes. So actually, with the phone getting in the way, it was my 8-year-old who kind of gave me the aha moment. I asked her to describe what I did all day, and she said, well, you take care of the house, you take care of us, and then you're on your phone. Like, those were the 3 things that I did. And I'm like, ugh, that's not good.
Oh, man. How did that make you feel? I mean, there has to be a level of defensiveness and maybe in a justifiable way to say, yeah, I do a lot of important stuff on here. Yeah. There's a lot that goes on here. So I would love to hear that balance. What is that like, knowing that on one hand, you're doing important stuff, but on the other hand, that's one of the 3 things that your 8-year-old says that you do?
Yeah, well, that's where Aro really stepped in and helped us for me to be able to find that balance, because my issue was when I was on the phone, I was doing some important things, but then I'd also be scrolling, or I'd also be doing things that weren't so important. Because
how about your husband? How does he, what is technology life like for him? Does he kind of feel that same struggle, do you think? Has he ever mentioned to you, hey, Steph, pay attention to me a little bit?
Yes, for sure.
I'd love to hear about that a little bit.
Yeah, so when I started talking to him about, hey, we need to jump on board this Aro, he was like, okay, yeah, I can see, this would help. But actually what has really helped us is the Aro Flip.
Oh, I like it. Let's hear about that.
Yeah, because he's more apt to do it at work, and he's more apt to do it when we're out places. Actually, when we went on a date, we did Aro Flip, and that just made a huge difference for us.
So I'm curious. This is one thing. Obviously, I'm clearly very sold on Aro and on Flip and the box and everything, but I'm curious what it is for you. We all have the ability, wherever we are, to flip our phones over, right? Mm-hmm. So what is it about having that connection with the app? What is it about being able to know you're in a session that makes it more powerful than just kind of flipping it over on your own?
Well, everything is recorded there, so we know, like, after we unflip it, we can put what we just did, and then as it grows, and you see, oh wow, look how many hours I've spent today. And actually, that's the thing too with Aro Flip. My hours, I went from 2 hours a day on Aro to 4. It's a lot easier because I have that flip there, and just flip it over, and I'm adding minutes.
Oh, that is awesome. Yeah, when do you find yourself, Stephanie, when do you find yourself using Aro the most? What are the things that you're doing, those activities? The reason I asked that, one of the big questions that people will ask is, okay, what do I do after I put down my phone? I don't do that very often. So what do you find yourself doing? When are you particularly using Aro, whether it's Flip or the box?
Okay, so I started as soon as I got the box to use it at nighttime, and that helped majorly because the box is in our living room, and I'm not getting up and checking my phone. I've actually put into my own little system of getting up and doing devotions before I even get out of bed. And then as soon as I get out of bed, exercise for 10 minutes, making myself exercise, and then I go get my phone out of the box.
I love that. And that morning routine, how was that felt? I mean, have you felt a noticeable difference?
Yes.
Is that right?
It's made a huge difference. And then mostly I'll use Aro doing my chores and homeschooling. That's been amazing because I don't have my phone right beside me as I'm homeschooling. So I'm more intentional about homeschooling because it's in the box. So that helps.
And we all know that you have an 8-year-old critic. Has your 8-year-old critic noticed that maybe that top 3 job that you had looking at your phone, has she noticed that it's a she, correct?
Yes. I have 4 girls.
Okay, four girls. Good for you.
Yes.
Goodness. So good for your husband, by the way. So has your 8-year-old, has she noticed, do you believe, the time that you're spending away from your phone?
Yes. And then we also let our children come to us and say, can I take your phone to the box? So they have that permission.
You got to tell me about that. How did that happen?
Because we really did realize that, hearing that mommy, that, hey, they're feeling dejected right now. They're not getting the attention that they need. I've got to put this away.
Wow. And so when they saw you using the box, was it them, they would come grab your phone and take it, or did you just voluntarily say, hey, I want you to go ahead and take my phone whenever you need it?
It's a little bit of both. A little bit of both.
That's so awesome. Who do you think of all of them, I guess maybe between the 5-year-old and 8-year-old, do you think it's been equal? They've both equally kind of appreciated what's happening, or has one been more responsive than the other?
It's definitely been equal.
That's so interesting. I really, really like that. Okay. So tell me, we were talking a little bit before we recorded that you've seen some very tangible results in your life. And you've even listed them as a great homeschool mom would do. You've made a list. And so, Aro means to notice. So I would love to hear, what difference have you seen from the beforehand when your girls and your husband were saying, hey, you're on your phone, be present. What have you noticed since Aro has come into your home? Okay.
So here's the 10 things that I wrote down.
Let's the 10. I mean, look at this, homeschool mom of the year. The 10 things that it's, so go on. But I just love this so much already.
Okay. Number 1, family dinners are without phone. So we're talking to our kids more. And we're having more of a conversation at the meal without the distraction of the phone. Number 2, I sleep better. My phone is no longer with me. It's in the box. And I can get up and I do my devotions and I exercise. And number 3, our whole family is way more intentional than we were before. We're dreaming more, but more importantly than dreaming, we're acting upon those dreams. Like we wanted to be, we live in the city, but we wanted to grow our own food, have some of our own vegetables. So yesterday, actually, my husband made a couple box gardens, so we can do that this year.
That's so cool.
And so number 4, our kids are happier. They're able to come to us and say, hey, can I have your phone? Let's put it in the box. Let's go play a game. But then with that playing a game, my husband and I decided that, hey, we need to do family game night. once a week.
Mm.
So we actually do that on Sunday nights now. And that has been phenomenal for our family, especially for a 5-year-old, because, at first our 5-year-old was not, the best sport in losing. But now, like, her attitude has changed so much. And it's just from getting together, having that family time, and playing together. And that's thanks to Aro.
Amazing.
So that was, let's see, number 4. Number 5, homeschooling is better. I'm more intentional with putting my phone in the box, and we're more intentional with spending time outside. We're using the 1,000-hour tracker, and we're up to 100 hours. We started tracking in January, actually.
I love that. And by the way, how great is 1,000 hours outside?
Yes, we love it.
What a great, everybody go listen to the 1,000 Hours Outside podcast. That's your little plug. That is just an amazing group and people, and Jenny and Josh are just the best. So that's a little side plug, but we're big 1,000 Hours fans.
Yep. And our marriage is better. We do a monthly date night, and we use Aro Flip, and we're just communicating better, my husband and I. And then that also leads to number 7, relationships are better, not just in the home, but outside of the home. We started doing, having people over to our home once a month for dinner, and then going to a friend's house once a month. And we have time for that now. And then number 8, parenting is better. We're actually taking a course right now by Dr. Josh and Christy Straub. We're doing the My Kids EQ.
I love it.
Yes.
I mean, hey, look at this. These are all the people we love. You're talking about all the people we love. I emailed Josh Straub this morning. I mean, those are just amazing people. Yes. Everybody go listen to Josh Straub's podcast. There's another plug.
Actually, so Famous at Home was how I found you guys.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
I was looking for something to help me, because I knew, with my 8-year-old what she said, and then it wasn't working out with the iPhone. Like, I was just ignoring. And then I heard your podcast on there, and I was like, this is my answer.
Amazing. Everybody go listen to Famous at Home. Okay. Josh and Christy are the best.
And then number 9, my home life is better. It's easier for me to keep track with cleaning up my house. And then I've actually hopped aboard the minimalistic train and decluttering. Have time for that. And number 10, I'm a happier person. Like, why wouldn't I be? My kids are happier. My marriage is better. My house is better. My homeschooling is better. Wow. And I have more time to be the person that God created me to be, and not just to do it, but to do it well.
Wow. There are a couple things that jump out to me that are absolutely fascinating, Stephanie. You are clearly a very intentional person, and even you, who are the intentional of the intentional, just like all of us, even you struggle with the phone. I mean, struggled with the phone. This is something for the best of us that gets in the way. And what's so cool, without you knowing it, you've just described the 4 pillars of digital wellness. So when we talk about digital wellness, we talk about 4 things. Their impacts on 4 things. One of them is how it impacts us personally. I mean, that was your number 10. You're happier. You're a happier person. That's you personally. And then we talk about how it impacts your productivity. So that was number 5. Homeschooling is better. Talked about the things that you're doing. You're better at that. Then you talked about family life, and that was all interdispersed. That's the 3rd pillar of digital wellness. And then the 4th pillar of digital wellness is your relationships, your external relationships, your community. And you said that was number 7, your relationships are better. So this is just me being personally gratified in hearing this. This is what we, have hope for people is if you're struggling, and all of us do, if you're struggling and you're saying, I need a little bit of help here, this is something that will make a difference in your life. And I think you're, walking, living proof of this. And I'm curious, I didn't ask at the top, how long have you been using Aro?
Since May of 2023, so almost a year.
That's amazing. I love that. I want to close out with a question, Stephanie. What kind of encouragement or advice, let's say another homeschool mom's listening, or maybe a couple's listening, or a husband who knows that, who he's been struggling, what kind of encouragement or advice would you give to somebody who's in that spot, who's struggling with their digital device and doesn't really know what to do?
My encouragement would be that you can do it, that you can make a difference, and Aro is designed to help you to put your phone away, and to not just to put it away, but to make a habit of it. It didn't happen for us overnight. We didn't do all these incredible things overnight. But as I look back over the year, I can say, wow, we have made a ton of changes, and it has been small steps. And so they can do it too.
You can do it. What great advice. Sometimes just those 4 words, just knowing it, and maybe even somebody listening right now, I want you, this is going to be a little bit silly. And even if you're with somebody, I want you to do it. How about just, if you're listening to this, just say out loud, I can do it. Because what will happen when you say that, that just activates something, doesn't it, Stephanie? I mean, just activates something. You'd be like, there's some power in that. I can do it. This is not insurmountable. So Stephanie, so grateful for you coming, talking with us. Thank you so much. I'm encouraged. I believe I can do it. I'm no homeschool supermom, but I know I can do it. I'm grateful for you. Thank you very, very much for joining us.
All right. Thanks for having me.